at least get something from it. For those of us in the speaker community, he was probably best known because following the German conference, on the day after, for many years, he and his wife would host the speakers at their home for a home-cooked dinner with goose as the main course. And we're very sad that he's no longer with us. Jackie Adams was another longtime community member who passed away much too young. She was a co-author of the Deployment book, which Rick and she and Rick Borup wrote, and involved in the Cleveland FoxPro community, and then a few years back sort of slid over into internet marketing and social media, so we didn't see her then for a while, but again, much too young.
All right, the trade show is in the room right behind us, so going around, and where you came to register, basically. That's the Desert Rose room. There's a reception tonight right after the keynote, so from 8:30 till 10, or whenever we clear out. So please go, have a drink or two. Please spend some time and go to each of our vendors and talk to them about what their products are. Each of them are going to be showing vendor sessions in the Gilbert room, so that's the third room down here, the next room right next door to this one. So please take the time throughout the conference to go and talk to them, see their sessions, and find out what their products can do for you. The trade show runs from 9 till 5:30 tomorrow on Saturday, 9 till noon on Sunday.
Okay, the 2018 Speaker Award has been renamed. We are all tired of Doug winning. Kathy did her best to help train all of us so that we can bite at his ankles. But in the spirit of allowing more than just Doug to win, and I think he's on this like more than half the times, we have renamed this award the Doug Hennig Memorial Award, right?
I'm not dead yet.
Yeah, sorry. This is the best deadpan we can do. So anyways, basically based on all the evals that were submitted, which is what this is done on, is we take the numbers, we crunch them up, and between number one, by the way, and how many speakers we have, the difference between those is very, very small. Small points in the big picture. But this year's Speaker Award goes to Tuvia.
Thank you.
That is the least words I've ever seen him speak. Each year, the three VFPX administrators, for those who aren't familiar with VFPX, it's our open source development projects hosted on GitHub. Doug and I and Craig Boyd administer all the work done by dozens of FoxPro developers around the world for creating all kinds of projects that you can use for free. Anyways, we recognize those who really basically stepped up over and beyond the normal expectations of any open source developer. And we have nominees, Erwin Rodriguez for Fox Faker, Christoph Wallenhop for Fox Mox, Antonio Lopez for UTC Date Time and Over Here, and I think numerous other projects, and Doug Hennig for Log4 VFP. Those are our nominees, and the winner for this is Christoph. Well, that's the idea.
Paperweight.
music, some background stuff, and we're ready for the actual keynote address. And this year we've asked Kevin Ragsdale to speak to us. Kevin has been a FoxPro developer since 1993, which I think is sort of in the middle of the pack in this room. He's spoken here at Southwest Fox several times, and he is the author of the VFPX Desktop Alerts project. And he's fun to be with, and is going to present for us the Fox family, a whimsical celebration of FoxPro and the FoxPro community.
I gotta tie it on.
Yeah, sure, no, make sure.
I can't see.
As long as you can tell.
Okay, so can everybody hear me right now?
Yes.
Yes.
I would apologize because the day of the keynote, I decided to lose my voice. And I've got to say, this has been a 10-year dream for me. I guess like puberty all over again. And also, I know that Stacy got a shout out a few minutes ago for the escape room, but thanks to the problems I've been having with my voice, Stacy went to the bar and bought me a cold herbal tea. So I want to give him a shout out. If anybody else wants a shout out, I'll drink them through the whole thing. I've done a few practice runs, and the shortest one that I've done was 2 hours and 49 minutes. So buckle up. And I know everybody is probably used to, okay, nobody look, okay, because that's not supposed to be what you're seeing. Everybody close your eyes.
Okay.
I'm serious. I'm looking. You're all looking. Wait, I forgot what I'm doing. Oh yeah, I was doing a slideshow. Okay. I know y'all laughed a couple of times, but I really wanted tonight to be serious because we're talking about the Fox family. But I did want to get a couple of jokes out of the way before we get going. The first one's a good programmer joke. I mean, we're all programmers, right? And what do programmers do? We solve problems. And how do we solve problems? That's easy. We have different ways of thinking compared to the rest of the population of the world. So the first joke, you've probably all heard it before. A wife sends her programmer husband to the grocery store. She said, buy a gallon of milk. And if they have eggs, buy a dozen. And he comes home with a dozen gallons of milk. So I figured it would be good to have a graphical representation. Most people that go to the park and see a sign like this pick up the dog's poop, right? But not the programmers. And now I'm going to be serious. First thing I'm going to ask. A verbal tea. Okay, so welcome to Southwest Fox 2019. Like I said, it's been a 10-year dream for me to do the keynote at Southwest Fox. You'll probably notice that I do a lot of walking when I do a presentation. Part of it is because of the herbal tea. I start to get urges, and you can't really just stop in the middle of a session and go to the men's room. And the other reason is, Doug is kind of a threatening presence, and I'm afraid he's going to throw stuff at me. So I just need to keep moving. For those of you who don't know me or have never met me before, I am a FoxPro developer. I've been very blessed throughout my career, very blessed. And currently, in the last few years, I've been working for Bo Durbin and working with an excellent team of developers he's put together, including Paul Becker, and Alan Balkin, who are here at the conference, at Zoom Geeks. And you know, I like to say, as far as like experience goes, for, you know, with FoxPro, 25 years, 59 pounds, and a head full of hair ago, I started using FoxPro. And if you look around the room, you'll probably see quite a few people that appear to have similar experiences as I do. If you still don't know me, but you think, I think I've seen him before, I can't put my finger on it, but I've got a feeling that this guy looks familiar. You've probably seen me featured in a Netflix documentary. It's called I Don't Always Test My Code, but when I do it in production. Now, you guys are laughing, but I tell you one person that's not, and that's Bo. Because he lives this every single day. For those of you who do know me, and you got the notice that Kevin's doing the keynote this year, your first question was probably, why is Kevin doing it this year? And, you know, I'll let you in on a little secret. I wasn't the first choice. Okay? We were going to have an educational, a motivational, and frankly terrifying talk about cybersecurity by America's foremost cybersecurity expert, Rudy Giuliani. I don't keep up with current events, and I really don't watch the news all that much, but apparently Rudy's got some things going on in his life, and he couldn't be here this weekend. So the nice folks at Geek Gatherings went through their Rolodex, and everybody said no, and they got to the R's, and I was like, Shaw. So I'm here. And since I mentioned that it's a 10-year dream, I want to start up the flux capacitor, and we'll get it to 1.9 gigawatts, and we're going to go back in time 10 years, all the way back to Southwest Fox 2009. That was the second time I had been to Southwest Fox. The first time I came was in 2005, and I had just kind of like introduced myself to the community, like blogging and stuff, but I really wanted to go to a conference. And I got out here to Phoenix in 2005, and I was a total wallflower. You know, I met a few people, but I didn't really talk to anybody, you know, other than just a few people. And that was you know, afterwards, I ended up speaking at a conference in 2006. It was Fox Forward. I started doing like user group meetings and stuff, and then in 2007, I got asked to speak at DEF CON, which was like the ultimate. Because, you know, DEF CON, like thousands of people show up at DEF CON. And the other speakers were like Tamar Grainer, Rick Schumer, and Doug Hennig. And I was like, holy cow, they called me. We're like peers now. And at this point, the only one of the three of them that I'd actually met in person was Rick Schumer. So it was going to be the first time I got to meet Tamar and Doug. A few months after I spoke at DEF CON, Advisor announced that they weren't going to do any more DEF CONs. And also there was only 35 people there. So then I spoke at Fox Forward again later that fall. And a couple of months after that, they announced that they weren't going to do that conference anymore. So far, I'm 2 for 3 at killing visual FoxPro conferences. So keep your fingers crossed that we're going to do this again next year. Now, if I go back to 2009, I had decided, you know, I'd become part of the community, sort of, and I was tweeting, and I was meeting all these wonderful people in the FoxPro community. Never met them before, but you know how it is when you start to feel like you know people, and they're your friends, and you just can't wait to meet them in person. So this was the last year that we were at the Arizona Golf Resort. Y'all remember that? And you remember the grotto? Right? A lot of people gather at the grotto. And, well, there's the grotto right there. And this particular year, Mike and Tony Feltman had like this big corner suite at the resort. And it was like walking distance to the grotto. So people would go and gather at the grotto, and then people would go over to Mike and Tony's, and you go back and forth because it's walking distance. By the end of the week, for me, it was like stumbling distance between the two. for obvious reasons. And everybody had a great time. There's Alan Stevens and Mike Feldman. And, you know, I had the time of my life. It was like the best weekend ever. And the best part was just getting to meet all of these people that I knew, but I had never met. And some people had more fun than the rest of us, Frank. And now while I'm talking, I'm going to get to the whole 10-year dream. I'll just kind of flip through some pictures as I go along. Y'all can like relive memories, like Throwback Thursday, I guess. But the last night of the conference, I didn't really know what to do. And I decided to go to Mike and Tony's suite. And I walked in, and I was in the kitchen, and Doug and Mike Feldman were in the kitchen. And there was an island in the kitchen. It's almost like where this table is. And Mike and Doug are laughing, people are coming in, we're having a good time and all. But right here was a refrigerator. And inside that refrigerator was a lot of beer. And so I thought to myself, this is where I want to be. I want to be here in the kitchen with a lot of beer and Doug and Mike, because they're fun people to hang out with. And so, I don't know. That year I had done the Show Us Your Apps. I did like a little 10-minute demo of like multi-threading the visual FoxPro that I had stolen from Christoph and passed off as my own. But I did give him some credit, because I like to say Christoph is a freaking genius. Which I thought I had invented that phrase, but apparently you guys had been saying it for like 20 years. Which is amazing, because he's only 17 years old. But I did the Show Us Your App, so I'm at Mike and Tony's that last night, and I guess it was somewhere around like the 12th or 15th beer or something like that. I turned around and looked at Mike and Doug, and I said, you know what I always wanted to do? I always wanted to speak at a conference, but do a session in an entirely different voice, which oddly I'm doing tonight. So then I started doing my Show Us Your Apps presentation, but I was doing different voices and doing impressions and stuff like that. Those two are laughing their heads off, which I thought was like the coolest thing in the world. I thought the more they laugh, the more I'm going to try to make them laugh. And to make them laugh, I would have another beer. So around like beer 18, apparently my language gets a little colorful when you get that high on the beer scale. And Mike is still laughing, and he's like, Doug, Kevin should do the keynote next year. And it was like, bing! I was like, all of a sudden in my mind, I was like, yeah. Speak at Southwest Fox, and you don't have to write a white paper. I mean, come on, that's a good gig right there, right? And apparently Doug was thinking, no. And the only reason I say that is because Doug, who is still laughing at everything I'm doing, he's like in mid-laugh, he's like, Kevin Ragsdale does the keynote at Southwest Fox over my dead body. And, you know, it was like 5 seconds before a dream was born. And then it was crushed. And, you know, Doug, words matter. And, you know, it's sort of like you go through life and you remember phrases and the tone of voice and the people who said certain things to you that just get marked on your brain. And I'll give you an example. If you hear like Maury Povich go, Kevin, you are the father. That's like a life-changing thing that's going to stay. Or if it's my own father's voice who says, what do you expect when you married a stripper? And then, of course, there's Doug Hennig over my dead body. So over the last 10 years, just about every year,